Good afternoon. This is the Central Florida Computer Society, Sarasota Technology User Group, Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, November 13th, 2022. I'm Huey Poplock, and I welcome you. Hello, everybody. We've got a nice crowd for Sunday afternoon. We've got some new people here that one of the groups in New Jersey asked if they could join, and I said by all means. And so I know we've got a few people from that group. I did notice several of you signed up again, even though you were registered for this meeting. I'm not sure if I said something somewhere, but more people than normal signed up again. But because you use the same email address and same first and last name, it just used the one that you had. Once you're registered for this, you're registered. So you don't have to do it each month. And I don't know whether I must have put something somewhere that made it, some of you think that you needed to re-register. If you're getting two reminders at the same time, because sometimes I'll send out them separate days, but if you get two on the same day, double check, and it's probably either your name is a little bit different or your email address is a little bit different, and you need to unsubscribe from one of them, because it's difficult for me to take you off the list. You need to do it. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. And as usual, I post the links that I'm going to try to cover during the week. Usually it's a lot later than I did this time or this month, because with now the fact that we're both the Sarasota group and the Orlando group combined, the Sarasota groups meets the first Wednesday of the month. And sometimes that comes almost 2 weeks before the Central Florida group meets. And that's what happened this time. So I had to get it out and get something up so they would have the right information, and there'd be information about their meeting as well. So I added some more today. So if you have checked, I think I added 4 or 5 more links today, and we're going to cover those first, actually. And then I do record these and then put them up on our YouTube channel, the CFCS YouTube channel, and you're welcome to watch and use for your user groups or for whatever you can use any or all of any part of any of the older recordings, by all means. But it's fairly informal. I will cover a couple articles or an article, and then we'll break and we'll just talk about that information. You might have questions that it sparks, and sometimes we go off on some pretty good tangents as well. So it's not a formal presentation. Some of the items that we'll talk about, I maybe have tried once, and I may not have even tried even once. So some of you may have some experience. If not, I'm at least introducing you to the topic, and you can, because the links for all of the articles are available for you, you can go out and take a look at them yourself and follow up on some of the information that you might be more interested than others. So to get us started, I am going to let's see. Nope, I need to. Come on, Huey. There, share my screen. Minimize this. Minimize this. Move this out of the way. I have to do all sorts of things here to make this work. And then I will bring up Edge. Now, if you'll notice, all of the websites are already open, and I use an extension called Open Multiple URLs. Just to show you what that looks like, I put in a list of all the URLs. I am going to mute everyone, and then let me figure out. Let's say mute all. There we go. That'll solve that problem. Okay, but you can see the all of the list, and I just click one button and it opens every one of them. And I've got that It also works with Google Chrome, but I like it in Edge because with Edge, I can use the immersive reader. And so instead of getting it looking like this with all kinds of ads and stuff, when I click the immersive reader in Edge, we get just the article, and we can make it larger or smaller. We got it large. And the first one we're going to cover today is update your PC. New Windows update fixes 6 zero-day flaws hackers are using. This came out on Tuesday, on Microsoft's Patch Tuesday. As the second Tuesday of the month rolls around, most software developers released critical patches and vulnerability updates. Microsoft pushed out several updates for Windows 10 and Windows 11 in October, but this is, however, the severity of November's patches is much more significant than last month's. In addition to the usual maintenance this month's patches fixes 6 zero-day flaws. Those are problems with security. These can pose major threats to your computer and your security, making breaches easier for hackers. And so in the article, they do talk about of the 68 problems, 11 are rated as critical in severity, and the distribution of flaws are 27 elevations of privilege, 4 security features, bypass, 6 denial of service, and 3 spoofing. One of the most severe zero-day flaws, and it gives the name of it, a weakness in the Windows scripting languages that could be used to launch malicious software on users who browse to a hacked or malicious site. An attacker can entice their victims to visit the site in an email or a chat message. So that's why you got to be very careful when you click on something in an email. And so your best move is to update your Windows PC immediately, and getting the update will now help you protect against hackers and malware. Don't wait until later when the flaws become more widely known. And so what you do is you go to the settings, Windows Update, and check for the updates. So to do that, let me click here and go to settings, and then the Windows Update. When I click on it, it says I'm up to date, and it checked this morning at 8:50 a.m. But you can look at your update history, and the top will show you the major updates. So they can go back a little while, but the quality updates, here's one on the 10th. What's today? The 13th. So that was Tuesday. I had a cumulative update for Windows 11, for .NET Framework. And then on the 8th, I had an update, and I had 2 updates on the 8th. So you can look to see what they are, but you can also click on one of them and click Learn More, and it'll explain what they've updated and why, and then some highlights of it as well. And these are known as KB. They have a KB and then a number, and that's for knowledge base. And that's how Microsoft catalogs all of them. And so you can see the release date and what the version is, and then it does give you some information about it. So let's go ahead and let's see if there's anything else here. Nope, that's the end of that article. The next article is Microsoft ads are creeping into the Windows 11 start menu. I haven't noticed it, but they do show that Microsoft is doing a recommended. So when you click here under recommended, you may see some ads for Microsoft products. And I believe that's how they're doing it. And so if it's a new product from Microsoft, you may see some of that. I haven't seen it yet, but the article does talk about where and how you'll see them. And because Microsoft is not making any money on Windows, or not much, they do sell it to the people who make, new computers like HP and Lenovo and so on. They charge them so much for each license that they put on a brand new machine. But that's not like they used to when all of us had to, when the updates were, we had to purchase the updates. So Microsoft's having a bit of a monetization problem right now with the slow adoption of Windows 11 on top of it, plus the free upgrade of the software giant gave to users on older Windows versions, it's likely that Microsoft's latest operating system isn't bringing in nearly as much money as it hoped. I think I read something like about 11% or 12% of Windows computers are Windows 11. A lot of people haven't gone to it. A lot of people can't. So one of the things they're going to be doing is maybe some ads. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that and how well we as end users accept it or don't. Microsoft Create is here to make the company's design tools way less confusing. Microsoft Create is now in review. The service brings together several Microsoft content creation apps in a single experience. Let's go ahead, and I didn't do the immersive reader here. They do talk a little bit about it, but you can visit the website. So let's go ahead and do that. The Microsoft Create website. And it's create.microsoft.com. Create designs that inspire, and they have templates. And it's an easier way to design like a pro. There's videos, there's Instagram, there's presentations, PowerPoint presentations, Facebook posts, and so on. And then you can start with a template and then customize your creation, share it, and then share it with the world. So let's find your template. Let's just kind of look at a template. You know, you get tired of using the same PowerPoints over and over again. I know Ron and I both have that issue because we do so many videos using PowerPoint. Now you've got a lot of choices and you can bring them up and then you could change things within them. So let's just, there's customize in Designer. So if we brought one up, let's just take this. Designer's coming soon, so it's not available right now, but you can bring up as a Facebook cover, a Facebook post, Instagram post, LinkedIn post, Pinterest post, Twitter header. So you got lots of choices there and a Twitter post. And then some of these are also PowerPoint presentations as well. Let's see if they, these are all saying Designer. So, but you can see that there's lots of templates and then you can go in and edit the templates. So those of you who do graphics of some sort in any of those, by all means, you should be able to utilize this new Microsoft Create. So let's take a break, see if there's any questions or comments. Everyone's muted, so if you have a comment or question, please unmute yourself and then mute yourself and then unmute and then mute when you're done. Raise your hand. Anybody got any comments, questions?
Huey, I do. Do you prefer this program to Canva?
It's still in preview. It's still new. I do have Canva and I am using a licensed version of Canva. So I am finding, I don't know how much I'll use it. It'll be interesting, but yeah, I'm sure that's what they're trying to compete with. So if you're using Canva, this might not be something for you, or it might be something to try to see if you like it better than Canva. Tony, you have your hand up.
Yes. You mentioned the immersive reader and also the open multiple URLs. I didn't quite catch what they were.
Okay. Let me, before I do that, let me, let's see, come back to Zoom here. Does anybody have a comment or question before I go in? I'll show that in just a moment. Lloyd, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I've come across, you have to excuse me, I've got what you probably have, just a cold. I've taken too many, I take the vaccinations for COVID, I took a vaccination for the flu, and something hit me. Okay, I found with the latest version of Windows updates that they're doing something now that I do not like. And that is that they're trying to encourage you to sign in to all these other things that you go to. using your Microsoft account. And I do not like that because they're now tracking everything I do outside of Microsoft. And that I do not like. And it's something you have to be aware of. It's all I'm warning
Yep.
people.
Yeah, they're getting more and more that they want you to rely on your Windows or Microsoft sign in. They're even changing Microsoft Office to be called instead of Office, it's just going to be Microsoft 365. And you sign into one, you sign into all of them. And yeah, that's but they're all doing it. Google does it.
Well, the reason for it is that Microsoft wants to start building up a search engine. And that's what they're doing it for, so that they're going to be able to go through a lot of things. But I don't like it. I don't like being looked at by, Microsoft. I feel very uncomfortable. I always used to, when I clean out my machine, I've always noticed that anything you do with Google Chrome, it's all over the map with the planted cookies. They've got all kinds of stuff on your system. And I used to laugh and I said, well, Microsoft isn't doing too much of that, but they are sure as heck are now. And I can see all the cookies they're planning on you.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
I appreciate it, and I agree with you, and I know several others on here also do. Dorothy, you have your hand up.
Yeah, where did you get that icon that you clicked in the edge for the multiple URLs?
Okay, yeah, that was one of the questions, and so let me go ahead and share my screen. I just closed that. Come on, Yui. Share screen and share. So you're seeing my screen now. It's called Open Multiple URLs, and let me see if I can find where that is. Let's see, under extensions and open multiple. Let's see, more actions. Remove manage extension. I guess you just go into the extension and look for open multiple URLs.
Okay, thanks.
It's an extension. If somebody would write that in the chat box, I'd appreciate it. Just open multiple URLs. That's an extension. Now, the other item that was in question was the immersive reader. And when you put in a website in the address bar in Edge, you'll see read aloud this page, immersive reader, and add this to your favorites. If you click on the immersive reader, you get this immersive reader. And I did a video on this. It's in my personal YouTube channel, but it brings up this and you can have it read aloud to you. You can change the size of the text and you can also check grammar and there's some reading preferences. So if you want to read it aloud.
How to boot Windows 11 into safe mode for troubleshooting. Is your Windows 11 PC unstable? Here's how to boot into safe mode in Windows 11 so you can troubleshoot.
So I'm not sure if you could hear that because it was coming through my speakers, but it does allow it to read to you. But it also, it cuts out all of the pictures and all the other menus, and I've made it into a larger size so that you can view it very easily. So when I cover these articles, you're not seeing a lot of junk. You're not seeing all kinds of ads. You're not seeing menus. You're just seeing what we want to talk about. And I love this immersive reader. As I said, I did a YouTube on it as well. It's part of Edge. It is not part of Chrome. So I'm using Edge more and more just for this purpose. But then I go back to Chrome because that's what I'm used to. And I, of course, use the Chrome on my Chromebook. So I like to, it keeps things in sync as well. But anyway, this next article is now using the immersive reader. And that, as I say, when you open up Edge, and I think it's in Edge in Windows 10 as well as in 11. Anyone know for sure? Okay, no one. I'm not sure.
Yes, this is Ray. Yes, it is in Windows 10.
Okay, thanks, Ray. So how to boot Windows 11 into safe mode for troubleshooting. Those of you who've been around Microsoft products and DOS and Windows, when we first started using Windows, a lot of times you'd have to go into safe mode to try to do some troubleshooting. Well, they've made it a little bit more difficult. It's not a matter of just hitting a couple of keys and going into safe mode. So there's a whole thing that you have to do. So this article tells you how to do it. I'm not going to go through it because it might be more advanced for a lot of you, but those of you who need to do it, it gives a step-by-step what you should do. And I can't demonstrate it because you really have to get out of Windows and have it restart and then tell it that you want to go into recovery and so on. So you, if I did it, we'd get disconnected. So, but you can set it up. So safe mode is what you start every time, but that can get to be a real pain. So I'm sure you don't want to do that unless you're having some issues on a regular basis and you do want to troubleshoot them. You can do that. But this is a good article to have, and it does say how to make it the default if you want. But what you want to do is have this article somewhere, so when you do have a problem, you can go back and use this article to figure out how to get into safe mode. I leave it in my Evernote, and I can get to my Evernote from even my phone if I need to. So I could look this up and figure out on my phone how to restart my computer to come into safe mode. So I do encourage you to save a lot of these articles somewheres. If some of you I know print them all out and keep them in a file, that's fine, or in a notebook. Or if you use some kind of a program like a Microsoft Notes, or and I use Evernote, and I've got it just turned. I'm at 19,900 and something notes. I'm about to turn to 20,000 notes over the years in my Evernote, and it's immediate every time I want to use it. So anyway, let's go to the next article. PowerToys. I talked about PowerToys, I think, either last month or the month before, and I think I did a video on PowerToys. They've added a new program. They did an update, and they added something called File Locksmith. And Microsoft's suite of Power Tools now lets you find that program that's blocking you from deleting files, among other improvements. Have you ever gone and you try to delete a program or a file? It might be a Word document, might be something else, but it comes up and it says, I can't delete that, it's in use. And you got everything closed. You don't know what to do to shut it off so you can delete that file. Well, this program allows you to do that. And let's see if I can find it in the directions, because I got to remember how to do it. I did it this morning and it worked. So let's see if I can remember what I did once. So you open up your, let's see, let me open up a Word document, because then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Word. And well, here's an article. Nope. No, it isn't. I moved it. So let's close that again. And where'd my Word go? Eight places you should never change. Let's hope this file is still out there. It is. Okay. And I'm not sure where it is. 8 places you should never change your. Okay. So let's see. I wonder where it is. I'll do a file and save as. And doesn't tell me where. Oh, there it is. Tech for Seniors, articles for TV. Okay. 8 places. So I have to go to here. I go to Documents. I go to, I have a lot of folders and files, don't I? And then this, and then here, and there's the article that I've got open. If I right mouse click on it, and the Microsoft 11 now, what it does is they have a short menu. And then you click show more options, and then they give you the long list like you're used to. And what you need to do is find where it says, I got to remember what it calls it. What's using this file? I hope you can see that. But when I click that, it'll come up and open it. And it tells me winword.exe is the one that's using it. And then I can go and I can close it. And I can just click end task and it will actually close it as well. So that's a nice addition to the PowerToys. Let's see, and we'll close that here. So take a look. If you haven't used the PowerToys, there's lots of really good PowerToys there. And let's see, do I have PowerToys running? Looking for the icon. I don't see it there. So what we'll do is we'll minimize this. And we'll come over here where PowerToys, I've got it here somewhere. There it is. I can close this in the meantime. Come on, PowerToys, where are you? Okay, yeah, it's here now. There we go. You can see these are all the programs in PowerToys, and there's some pretty good ones. And so I again have done a video on this, and by all means, the PowerToys is free. It's from Microsoft, but it's not official Microsoft. It's the programmers that work for them, and they then put them out and allow you to download and use them. They're at version 0.64, so they're not even at version 1, but they've been around for years and years. So PowerToys is something you might want to take a look at, and we'll take a break. Steve Parker, you've got your hand up. Did I catch you napping? All right, we'll wait. Anyone else have any questions or comments on some of the things I just covered? Jim Glass. I'm not hearing you either. So let's see if I got a problem here.
No, he's muted. James Glass is muted, dear.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Jim, unmute
Right.
yourself.
Doesn't Print Friendly do the same thing as the immersive reader for Chrome and the other Firefox?
It does something similar. It doesn't do it as well. It does show all of the pictures. And if you try to point to something, it actually deletes it. But you can change the size, and you can, and it does eliminate the menus and the ads. But I think Immersive Reader works much better and is much cleaner. But the nice thing about the one you were talking about, it does save it as a PDF if you want within the program, and then you can save it and then you reuse it. Steve, you back? You're unmuted. All right, Jim, if you did put your hand down. Drew, you're next.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know that there's another similar extension to the Immersive Reader that works on all Chromium-based browsers, which includes Chrome, Brave, Edge, and it's called Reader View. And if you've ever it's borrowed from Firefox, and it takes away all of the backgrounds and the ads and allows you to adjust the font size of the screen, and does a lot of the same things that Immersive Reader does if you don't have Edge.
Drew, would
It's
you
called-
spell the name of the program? Meter? Is it Meter?
It's Reader, READER.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Reader.
Reader View. And then secondly, before I finish here, is with regard to the booting into safe mode, be sure to have written down, if you know that your device is encrypted, you have your BitLocker device encryption code before you reboot into safe mode, because it's going to ask you for that 40-digit code.
Yeah, good idea. I don't use BitLocker, but I'm sure some people do and don't realize it, and others do because they do realize it. So,
Well, you don't have to be using Windows Pro BitLocker. If your device came with device encryption enabled, which is most computers today, then you have a device encryption code that's separate from the Windows BitLocker code in Pro. And if you buy a Dell computer today, for example, if I were to reboot my Dell into safe mode, it would ask for that code that came from the factory. And that's stored either in the control panel, you can get your recovery code, or in your Microsoft account. It's also under the security section.
yeah, that's good. So if somebody can get to the DOS level of your machine, they can't get your data off the hard drive. That's a good safety thing, but it can screw you up if you don't know it. Lloyd, you've got your hand up.
Yes, so I'm unmuted now. One of the things I'm curious about, you mentioned Evernote before, and why, if you're in the Windows operating system, would you not use OneNote? And the reason why I'm asking is because OneNote operates beautifully with OneDrive. And therefore, you know, any of your other machines that's tied in with the Microsoft system can access OneDrive. No, what is it called? I'm lost. It's yeah, OneDrive.
Yeah.
So the point of the matter is that everything is there on OneDrive. So if you've got your phone connected, if you've got laptops connected, you know what I mean, online, that it makes it so much easier. Like if, for example, if I went away for a course and I'm going ahead and I'm saving stuff that materials that the instructor's given me, or that they give you a website to go to, you click on the website, you save the website, and it's in OneNote. And you can make a little picture, or you may even have a little bit of a text in there with, you know, a summary of what's going on. Or you can draw part of the picture. I've been using OneNote for a long time, but especially because when you use it with OneDrive, it's a very, very powerful tool.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. I started using Evernote before OneNote became, I don't know whether it was available, but it wasn't very powerful and it didn't work very well when it first came out. And I started using Evernote. I've been using it ever since. So as I said, I've got close to 20,000 notes, and they don't transfer well to go from one to the other. Okay. And I'm used to Evernote. I know how to use it, and it's easy for me to find it. But also I use Evernote on my Android phone, my iPhone, my iPad, my PC, my Chromebook. I use it on everything.
Have you got it synced with all of those devices?
Yes.
Okay. You're doing something similar to what I'm doing. I'm just curious, though. That's all.
Yeah. If I save something in Evernote on my PC, I can bring it up on my phone and it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
It does sync. Yeah. So yeah, but if you started with Evernote, or if you haven't started with anything, OneNote is free from Microsoft and is a good program. I can't say anything bad about it. I do know for a long time the search engine in Evernote was far superior than OneNote, but I had heard maybe a year or so ago that's improved in OneNote. But the one thing I really liked about Evernote is even if the word was in a photograph, it would find it when it did a search for that word, and it did it instantly. So
one of the things that I use OneNote for, which is phenomenal, is that if I'm going into websites, I may not want to keep the websites in the web browser, as links. I would rather have it in OneNote. The reason for that is then I can sort everything in OneNote. And what I do is by topics, let's say. So I like if I'm looking at just to say you're looking for something on Amazon, a certain type of product or whatever, you just go click, 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 click as you come across it in the browser. Then you can take it all out of OneNote, just take a look at it. You can compare them and everything else. It's beautiful. So that's the one thing that I do like. And it doesn't matter. You could use your phone to look at it. Well, I don't like the phones for, if you're looking at stuff like that. I prefer to have a regular screen, not the phones. One of the questions I asked you before, and I know this is just going to go back a couple of steps, and I'm very curious. I'm not familiar with the plans that I heard you talking about the plans for internet in your part of the world. Here, pretty well, the major companies are trying to sell you like crazy. They come to an entire package, and they give you discounts if you get the package. And I was just wondering if you got the same pressures, or it sounds like you go piecemeal. If you want something here, you go for internet here. You want TV, you go there for something else. But we have a very sophisticated system with, there's two major providers here.
Yeah. Shaw is one of them, right?
No, Shaw is actually being
Shaw got
bought by
bought.
Rogers. It's Rogers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rogers.
It's Rogers and Bell.
Yeah.
Rogers and Bell. I think Bell is tied in with AT&T. But the point of the matter is that, for example, and I don't know if you've got this in the States or not, we have something called Ignite in Rogers, let's say. And in Rogers, the way it works, the whole system works like this. And just think of this. You've got, your house is literally Wi-Fi'd. The motor produces a signal throughout the entire house. When you want your TV connects to it. You want anything else, it's connected, other than your cell phones. So it's all connected. Now, what happened, and there was a major calamity about a month or two ago, is that the Rogers people went down for 2 days, and people went crazy because they've got their cash machines, in the stores and everything else, and they had a government inquiry. This is Canada, of course. They had a government inquiry right away, and they made arrangements that if somebody like Rogers goes down, that the other companies have to provide it facilities to be able to keep going. Even your 911 was knocked out. You couldn't dial 911. Now, I have a Bell system for my landline, and I keep it for that point, that if one company fails, I at least got some kind of communication to go out the door. But again, go ahead.
My co-host for Tech for Senior is located in Vancouver, British Columbia. And so he's got internet. He does stream. He's got I think 1.5 gigabit service. And so when I did a program, and let me share, I did a video on both Canadian and US services for internet. And let me find that YouTube, if it'll come up. And I urge you, and we've got a lot of Canadians on this broadcast, and that also join us on the Tech for Seniors on Mondays and Thursdays. So even though I'm not there, how to choose an ISP in the US and Canada. I did it about 3 weeks ago. It's less than 10 minutes. It's a video that I urge you to take a look at. And that's, let's see if I can, let's see. No, I want to manage videos is easiest. I don't want to start playing it, but come on.
Can you post a link to the test?
That's what I'm going to do. I got to get the link, get a shareable link, and then I'll
just
drop
put the
it.
chat. Yeah.
Yep. Send cast to everyone and put it in there. And I urge you to take a look at that. That might help you, at least to tell some of the people in your group some different things if it's not anything that
I might show it at my club meeting.
How to choose an ISP in the US and Canada. I'm Huey Poplock. Somebody's playing it. Please stop it. 0 to 5 megabits per second. You can check email, streams some music on one device. That's not me playing it, is it? 5 to 40 megabits per second. It could be on one device.
It might be me. Just hold on, because I'm just capturing this and
okay, I'm going to mute you. Okay. YouTube doesn't like that when you record something else. So let's get back to let's see, come back here. And so, yeah, anyway, take a look at that. That will talk about different plans, and you put in your area and in Canada, there's a service that will tell you in Canada what services are available in your area. And there's also a different service for those in the US, and it'll tell you who you can get internet service from by putting in your zip code in the US. Okay, let's go to the next article. This was still on PowerToys. It explains there was actually an update this week to the latest version, and it tells you what they did. In Windows 11, they've come out with a tabbed file explorer, and I don't like it. I don't know about anybody else. Before we talk about it and take a look at it, let's see if anybody has any comments. Or Jim, your hand is up. Is it about that?
No, I just wanted to mention when you're talking about the services for providers, just a reminder for those of us who served, don't forget to ask for a military discount. A lot of the services will give you one.
Good point. Okay, thanks, Jim. But any comments about the File Explorer in Windows 11? Just those of you who've got your camera on, just kind of raise your hand if you're using Windows 11. Already, if you're using 11.
I'm using
not
it.
many.
I still haven't given my go-to for it yet. As terms of thumbs up and thumbs down, I'm still kind of evaluating whether or not I like it or not.
Well, I'll show you a couple of things that I think, and I may not know what I'm doing with it, but let me go in and share screen and bring up the Windows Explorer. One thing they did is they changed this PC so it doesn't come up the way I was used to it. But this is how I've got it coming up. And I really had to pin all of these things here because it was hard finding all of the normal documents and so on. But let's say I am in, let's see, we'll just come to this folder for whatever reason. And then I want to open up something else. And so I can hit a plus. And then I can go to a different documents. And no, I didn't hit documents, did I? I hit something else. So there are my documents, and then it changes things around. So if I go to let's see, WinSIG virtual, so that's this one. So I go to my notes for this meeting. They're here. Now, if I want to copy them over to another folder, I have a terrible time trying to find where to move them and to copy them. It just doesn't show up right. But you can have multiple tabs open. Let me find downloads. And there's the downloads. So you can go back and forth between them, but it's been hard for me to try to figure out how to get them from here to a different folder. It just doesn't work as easily as it did when I opened up separate ones. And when I go to try to, let's say, like in Chrome or in Edge, you can take one of the tabs and take it out and have it separate. You can't do that with the File Explorer. So you can't make it a separate window. So you'd have to open it separately. And I don't like that either.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Ah, finally. Okay, there was something wrong with my microphone. I was shouting at it, and I tested it all out, and there was nothing was showing up as wrong, so I just changed the new microphone. What I was trying to say before was on that utility you had for Edge to
the immersive reader?
No, the one to delete a file that it was locked. There's a program.
Oh, yeah. That was a PowerToy.
Yeah, there's another one that I've been using for years called Unlocker. And that one, you just click on it, you tell it what you want to do with it, and it'll unlock the thing and delete it or move it or whatever you want to do with it. So it's essentially the same as the PowerToys one, only a bit more effective. With a lot
and
less
you're used to it because you've been using it.
yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thanks, Steve, for that. Any other comments from anybody? All right, let me go back. Let's see. Let me look at the chat. How are we doing in time? We're doing good. Thank you, Marshall. Let's see. Doesn't Print Friendly do the same as Edge? Yeah, it doesn't quite do the same. And then Jolyn is still on Windows 10. Gonna go watch. Okay, so she left us. What's this button do from Geeks on Tour is at the same time as the latter part of this meeting. Okay, any other comments or questions, or we'll go back to my notes?
One more comment.
Okay.
In File Explorer, if you want to open up a second window, find your first file folder that you wanted, and then right-click that folder, and you'll have an option to open in either a new tab or a new window.
Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen because I want to show that, and there's another way to do it as well. But you're saying if I have File Explorer open, and we're let's go into Documents, and we want to go to let's see here, and today's date. Okay, and we want to open, let's see, let's go back up one. And then we want to open this in a separate one. I can right mouse click and open in a new tab or open in a new window. That's what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's one way. And then the other way is you can come down to your taskbar, and I don't know, I'm hoping you can see it, but if you go into your taskbar and just click it right mouse click it, and just find File Explorer and then click that, it will open a second instance. So that's another way in which I've opened up multiple File Explorer. Instead of having tabs, have different windows with it.
Oh, if you hold down the Shift key with one finger and click in the taskbar on Explorer, it'll open up a separate window also.
Yep, you're right. Well, I just learned something new. Thank you. I don't know a lot of those shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts. I wish I did. Just haven't used them. Okay.
I've been totally frustrated with the new File Explorer. Like you say, I'm having trouble figuring out how to get around it without a whole lot of success. One thing I did, Paul Thurrott has a Windows Field Guide that he sells. You can pay as little as $9.95, I think, or you can pay more than that if you want to. And there's an article in there on the Explorer. And one of the things he said in there was you can drag to one of the tabs. Now, I've tried that unsuccessfully, but maybe I haven't spent enough time reading and trying to figure it out. So if you have two tabs open, supposedly you can drag a file to the other tab and it will copy it. But again, I haven't been successful doing that.
Well, it will copy it if it's on the same drive. If it's a different drive, it will, I'm sorry, it will move it if it's on the same drive, and it'll copy it if it's on a separate drive. Is generally the way File Explorer always worked. But with the tab, I was finding that other folder has been a problem in that left-hand column. It's just, it sometimes disappears, and it just, they've screwed around with it a lot, and I really don't like it.
Yeah,
maybe it's just getting
Windows 10.
But yeah, so thanks, Walter. Anybody else have any comments before we go back? Okay, let's see where we are. So we're done with that.
May I make a question? This is Stephanie.
Okay, hi Stephanie, what'd you like?
I have a problem with that left column too, basically because I keep all my files under data and it's way down below umpteen other things. And it's just very annoying.
Yeah,
Can you put it into this quick access screen, that drive?
you
Or
can,
your favorite folders?
You can
You
pin
can-
it into your favorites.
yeah, but once you open a second one, it changes these things. I've done it a couple of times and I couldn't find it. If I click on documents, it takes me to documents, but it's over here, not here. And it's way down here now. So that's
Yeah.
what she's saying. And so then I can go to it. But
Yeah.
and in the beginning, it wasn't even showing up down there. So it's moving it around once you open that second tab. And that's one of the things, as I said, I didn't like about it.
I figured almost everything on my drive is a document. Therefore, why should I have documents as part of a system? It's just an unnecessary thing that Windows imposed on us, but I refuse to use.
Yeah, but I'm still using multiple instances of File Explorer rather than the tab because it's so hard for me to move quickly to copy or paste or copy or move a particular file from one folder to another or a folder from one drive to the other or subfolder. Okay, and then Microsoft released Windows 10 version 22H2. And so there's an article on that. So those of you who have Windows 10, you might want to look and see if you've updated. And if not, you might want to take a look to see what it does and do you want to do it? You should for security reasons, but make sure, please, your system will know if you're not backed up when you go to do these things. So make sure you back up first so that if something happens, you're covered. Here's another article. I'm not going to go through this today, but it's 14 ways to make Windows 10 faster and improve performance. It's a good article. Let's go ahead and use the immersive reader. Operating system tweaks, software enhancements, and app replacement or removal. And turn on the game mode they're suggesting. Windows 10 Creator Update added a feature called Game Mode. You can improve the performance of any app using Windows Game Mode. Unfortunately, there's no way to perpetually run in Game Mode. You have to activate it by pressing the Windows key and G, and if it doesn't work, you must first enable the Game Mode. And to enable it in Windows 10 Creator Update or Windows 11, open Settings, Gaming, and choose Game Mode. So that's one thing. Turn off some of the visual effects, speed up your processor, turn off your auto starting programs. And I've gone in various meetings, and I probably will continue to do it. A lot of times I will show you where the auto start programs are. So you can decide whether you want certain programs to start when you start your computer or not, because that does slow your machine down. If you're starting programs you don't really need and you only use once in a while. So take a look at that article. And for those of you using Windows 11, tips to get the most out of Windows 11. Again, there's an article for you to go through and take a look at. System-wide live captions. Now the live captions are displayed at the top of the screen right under the camera on most systems, which makes it easier to follow captions while continuing to appear engaged in online meetings. But you can also move the live captions to the bottom of the screen or in a floating window. So you can multitask. So there's some things that you can do. Focus sessions, do not disturb, voice access, and natural voices for narrator, and some snap layouts. I really like the snap layouts now. So if you've got several things that you want open, when you come up here, you can choose what you want. So if you've got, you can click this, put it there, and then decide which one you want on the other side, and bingo, you're there. And so you can go back and forth with things very quickly and set it up so you have two. There are sometimes when I send out emails that I have to send them out in bunches because I can't send them all out at once, or Microsoft and whoever says, oh, you're spamming. So what I need to do is I make 4 copies of a particular email and send it to maybe 75 at a time. And so what I'll do is I'll come up here and go to this window. And so I will have an email here, here, and here, and I copy and paste from one to the other very easily and quickly, and then just put the names in it. Who's going to go to, this one's going to go to, the group of names that this one's going to go to, the group of names this one, and so on. And it sends them all out one at a time. No, that's not what I want to do. So doing that, I really like that feature in Windows 11. Best features in Windows 11 in the upgrade, the app folders in the start menu. Yeah, you can now in the start menu, you can set up folders in here. I don't do a lot with this because there's only a few programs that I have in here that I actually get to from the menu. The ones I use the most, I keep in my taskbar. And besides the PowerToys, Microsoft has something called Windows Sysinternals, and what they are and how to use them. They give you a lot more control over your PC. This is for more advanced users than a lot of you, so you probably don't want to use this, but some of you are pretty advanced and may want to try some of these, or may have in the past and have forgotten that they're there. But a brief history of Sysinternals. It's a collection of free system administration and troubleshooting utilities for Windows. It goes back to 1996, and since then the suite, the Sysinternals suite, has evolved with such. Let's do it the way I want to do it here. With each successive version of Windows, with Arsenal expanding to over 70 distinct utilities. Microsoft outright purchased and acquired the software in 2006 and have kept it free and available for download as either a complete package or individually. And how to get it, it tells you, you get it directly from Microsoft. And then there are tools, and it talks about how to run them and then what you can do with them. And there's a Process Explorer, which is Task Manager's big brother, Process Monitor. So there's lots of utilities that are advanced things from Microsoft to check your system. So if you haven't used Sysinternals and you are one of those who can utilize control things that control your PC and can do troubleshooting, you might want to look at the Sysinternals. And then this talks about some of the new ones, and you can see that they've updated just since October 12th, total of 3 times. And it's different programs at different times that they update. So you might want to take a look at that article as well. How to use the Microsoft Safety Scanner to scan for malware. I wasn't familiar with the Safety Scanner till I read this article. And again, let's immersive reader. How to use the Microsoft Safety Scanner to scan for malware. Get your PC clean of malware using Microsoft Safety Scanner. Readers like you help support the MUO when you make a purchase using links on our site. We may, that's this, the website is make use of. So that's what they're talking about there. Why use the Safety Scanner and not Microsoft Defender? The Safety Scanner tool is not a replacement for Defender in normal circumstances. When your computer is working normally and a Defender scan can be used, it should be used. But if you can't use Defenders to scan for threats, the Safety Scanner tool can be used instead. The tool doesn't need to be installed, so it's useful when the Windows system or Defender is experiencing some problems. And you can learn about it, and you can actually download it from the Microsoft website by clicking here. It will take you there, and then you can download it from here. Now, I have already downloaded and I ran it. It took a while to run, so I'm not going to try to run it from here. But what I'd like to show you is I did a couple of screen captures because it doesn't tell you a whole bunch. But let's find, whoops, where did I put it? Let's see if I put it here first. That's the problem with so many places. Sometimes I forget where I put things. I'm sure you have the same problem too. Let's see if I stuck it in here. Sysinternals logo. No, so I think it will be here. No, yeah, captures. There we go. Okay, the first one was when it was scanning. This was the scanner. I took it while it was working. It was 10 minutes in when I took it, and it was up to that point. But from there to the end went fairly quickly. But this was, you have three choices in what you're going to scan, and this was the quick scan. But it did find 5 files infected, and when it finished, it showed me one file, and it said it removed it. So I wasn't able to look to see anything about it, and I thought that if I clicked on it, it would give me more information. Well, it did, it just closed the window, so that didn't help me, and so I wasn't really impressed with that. And when it finished, this is basically what I got, is view the detailed results of the scan. When I clicked it this time, because I had just run it, and so there weren't any, so it told me there wasn't any. So if I had grabbed the screen capture the first time, I would have been able to show you it had one name and it said it was removed, but it did not tell me anything about that. And when I clicked the detail, I thought it was going to give me details, and it just closed the window. So it's not perfect, but it does tell you some things, I guess. So it's something to look at and try. And it is it's part of Microsoft, and it is part of Windows. And Steve, you got your hand up again.
Yeah, you know, in File Explorer, when you want a folder to go to the top of the list, and you put the exclamation point in front of the name.
Yes.
Is there a character you can use that it'll go to the end of the list at the bottom?
It puts ZZ at the beginning of it.
Yeah, there isn't any other special character or something.
No, but what you can do when you open up File Explorer, and let's just say here, I'm in downloads, and in downloads it doesn't work the same. So, and I wish I could make that change as well. But okay, so I'm looking here, and you see that I've got an exclamation point because any symbol precedes numbers, then numbers, and then the alphabet.
You're
And
not
that's what you're
sharing, Huey.
Oh, well, I can see it. All right, share. Thank you. Anyway, this is my documents folder, and you can see at the top, I have presentations with an exclamation point. Why I like that is because it's skinny and you don't really see it and you don't pay attention to it, but because it's a symbol, symbols go before numbers and numbers go before letters. And so in the sorting that Microsoft does, it doesn't work in everything, but in most things it does. But in Microsoft, it definitely does. So you see, I've got this one too. So these two are always at the top of my documents folder by choice. But what you can do is you can click on the name and it reverses. And now you've got the files first from the last one down, and then the folders from the last one down. Well, the folders are here. and starting as Z and go the other way. So you can just, you can sort by any column. So if you want to find the latest thing you changed, the latest folder, you click date modified and it'll do it by date. And if you click it again, it reverses it. So you can do that in any of these columns. You can do the same in any column in Excel as well. Does the same thing. You can sort by various columns. Okay, let's see. And let's see if I still got this open. Yep. And let's see, PC Manager is a new Windows optimization app currently available. It's in beta, but I believe, let's see, is this one that it's available to download from pcmanager.microsoft.com. I can't remember if I tried this or not, but you can download it and play with it. It boosts your PC. It gives you some information about it. Manage your storage. Does a health checkup. So a lot of the tools that you've been using, I'm thinking of CCleaner. I don't know if this does the same things as CCleaner, but it's the same type of a tool where you can check your system and see if there's some things that you can do to make it work better, or to check and see if things are working the way they should be. So that's another program that Microsoft makes available. It's compatible with Windows 10 and above and Windows 11. So that's another thing that you can check if you're doing troubleshooting. And in the last few articles, and we got a few minutes left, you can soon start your Samsung phone's hotspot right from your Windows 11 PC. And so I really haven't tried this because it says you can soon do it. So I have to go into my settings in my Samsung phone. But what I can do with my Samsung phone is right here, and I've done a video on this as well, it was called Your Phone, and now it's called a Phone Link. But this is my phone, so I can actually look at my phone right from Windows. Come on. Let's see if I got to click on anything on my phone. Yeah, start now. Well, I don't want to do that yet. Let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, there's my phone, and I can do anything on my phone that I want to do right here on my PC, including the National Weather Service. So this is my phone, and it's connected via, I believe, Bluetooth, or using this app anyway. And so I can do anything on my phone. I can look at messages. I can look at my calls. I can look at any of the apps that are on my phone and actually run them from here as well. And look at any of the photos I have. Oh, there they are. Well,
can you make and receive calls?
Yes, I can. Let's see. I can reminder. Well, let me do it from the phone. There's a way I can do it from here too. Come on. Phone link. Calls in preview. Connect your phone and PC. Connect. It's trying to connect.
Is that going through Bluetooth or just through your?
Yeah, it says, and it's got to have Bluetooth turned on. So for whatever reason, it's right now, but normally I can connect it and then it'll give me the dialer here and I can dial and then I talk through the microphone and my headset on my computer and it works just like I'm on my phone.
Check your phone. It may have a message.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see.
What is the name of this software?
This is part of my Microsoft Windows. It's called Phone Link. It works best with the Samsung phones, but it does work with some others. Right now it's not connecting, but it does. And I've done a video on that as well.
That's with Windows 10 as well as 11.
Yes, I believe so.
All right, very good. Cool.
Okay. As a final one, I think there's two that I have on here, but this one is called Down for Everyone or Just Me. It's a website. If you try to get to a website and you're getting an error message and you want to see what it is, you can go and this article tells you what you do. You just go to this website, which is Down for Everyone or Just Me. And let's see if there's a link to it from the article. It should be. Here, it's right here. You copy and paste whatever the website is that you're having trouble with. Now, let me just, it should say it's okay. And so therefore it's me. No, it's just me because it's up. So if you try to get to a website and you're having trouble and it keeps giving you an error message, go to this page, Down for Everyone or Just Me. And I'll copy that. Again, it's in my list. It's another thing to have in your arsenal that when you try to go to a website and you can't connect to it, this is a good way to check to see if before you start tearing your computer apart and your hair, pull your hair out because it's not connecting to your favorite location, find out if they're having an issue. And so this is I found this to be very valuable in that respect. And with that, I am going to stop sharing for a moment, and then we'll wrap this up. Any final comments or questions from anybody? And just to say thanks for joining us today at the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group, Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, November 13th, 2022. I'm Huey Poplock. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all the great questions and comments.